Hey guys, what's up? Just a quick tour of the cockpit I'm using to fly helicopters here. I mostly had questions about the piece of software that I'm using, and I think we're going to spend just a little bit of time on the two main ones that really saved my life regarding implementing cockpit in DCS. That is Helios and DCS flight panel. And I'm just going to show you a little bit what you can do having multiple monitors, touchscreens, and with DCS flight panel. Latest version manage Streamdecks, so then are right here. So I'm going to show you that. Don't mind about this little screen here. It's just my just a small monitor of what I'm actually filming. Make sure that you guys are seeing the same thing that I do. All right, quick tour. Basically, that would be just a step below VR, but using TrackIR. I'm using VR from time to time also, but I'm quite happy with multi-monitor configuration also. I like it. We have a 23 inches touchscreen here for the front panel. You got a large, I don't know, like 49 inches. I don't know. I mean, like a big ass wide screen for the main view. I kept a touchscreen here for the utilities. So I was talking about, all the software that are running. So you got the ID, mainly you see DCS flight panel here, simple radio. I'm using a very old software called Xpatter that allows me to manage the keybinds and stuff like this, and Helios. It's still Helios 1.4. I haven't switched to 1.6 yet. I'm going to do that later. And finally, you have the entire overhead here, also touchscreen, so you can actually activate switches using Helios. It's actually whatever you're touching here is actually happening in the helicopter through DCS BIOS. Right, I just wanted to spend a little bit more time on the maybe on Stream Deck also, and I wanted to show you a thing. Now I'm not using that much Streamdecks for the Huey because I mean it's kind of a simple helicopter. It doesn't need tons of buttons here. So what I thought I could show you that to fly either the Gazelle or K-15. We might start with the Gazelle, and I'll show you how it works here. All right, so here we are back into the Gazelle cockpit. So as you can see here, I've got a new panel that I activated through the interface on Helios. So you can basically choose whatever helicopter you want to fly, press start, and here you go. You have a new panel here, a new front panel. The Gazelle profile I'm using with Helios doesn't use much the hoverhead, basically because there's no hoverhead for the Gazelle. Like there's a couple of buttons, but it doesn't matter. The really nice thing, the thing I like with the Gazelle is the profile I'm using with DCS flight panel, and mostly with the Streamdecks that I integrated into the pedestal here. As you can see, I have a standard one with 15 keys, an XL with 32, and a small one right here. I don't know if you see that, with 6. So the 6th one is I mostly use it to control the display, some of the display on the other ones. That's what you can do with the flight panel. And a few buttons here for the GPS and the NVG. The XL got, let's start with the standard. The standard got the whole not the whole, but part of the Nadir keyboard. So you got most of the keys here and the last 3 ones below. The Nadir controls, a few choice of other panels that I can show you later. The autopilot and all the radios. And also using DCS flight panel, it just doesn't control through DCS BIOS. It just doesn't interface the DCS through DCS BIOS. with the Streamdecks. It's also interfaced the SideX panels. So you have one switch panel here, 2 radios stacked here, the multi-function display. I'm not using it that much for the Gazelle, except for, you know, some function here for AP and stuff, but not that much useful on the Gazelle. And I've got another one here on the overhead, so, you know, for the lights and a few stuff here. You can do a few stuff here also, but it's all controlled with DCS flight panel that runs right here. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna just do a cold start. I'm gonna show you the whole cold start, but you get the idea, and you'll see a little bit how I'm using that, at least how I'm using the DCS flight panel and the Streamdecks for that, so because I got a lot of questions about this. All right, let's start with the batteries. Okay. The brake. All right. Let's switch the pump and have a little bit of timer here for 30 seconds. And then once we're happy with the timing, we're just gonna engage the starter. That's right here. So see the lights here. I got a few warning lights implemented also that you can do. What's what you can do with the SideX and DCS flight panel, that you can use. So if there's an over torque or some kind of things like this, you can show a light or blinking light, and it's all synchronized with the warning lights that you have on the torque here, the torque gauge here. All right, let's start. Got a nice spool up. We're gonna stop the timer here, reset. There you go, looking good. All right, now gonna slightly and slowly increase the engine. Let's close the door. All right, so the whole startup procedure is pretty much reaching the end here. It's almost done. Just wanted to show you here, for example, my gyro is set up, so I'm gonna use flight panel to turn it on. So I don't know if you can see. I'm gonna use this switch to set it up to standby, and you can see my nadir right now is in standby. I'm gonna wait a little bit. During this time, I'm gonna turn on the radios. So just gonna show you here with Helios. I've got the stacks here, but I can simply turn on all the radios. So you got UHF, VHF, and Fox mic. I can once, for example, the VHF is launched and ready to go, I can dial in a frequency. So what we're using most of the time on BSD will be 251. So I'm going there and 251 and valid. And here we go. Got a 251 frequency here set up. All right. What else? That's the radio altimeter. Let's come back to my nadir. It's still powering on. Okay, we're good. So I'm gonna go here and set it up to terre, and it shall be running. The other thing I can do, maybe I want to show you also. If you wanna, you can actually manage through DCS flight panel different displays. So for example, what I did is I added a hot 3 panel using the standard Streamdecks. So I press hot 3 panel, and I have the control over my hot 3 I can turn it on, arm, laser, and fire, master switch, weapons master switch on, select my hot 3, and all the lights are actually synchronized with the game. So I know when it's good. I set it up today, can set it up tonight, as you can see. My fire authorized and all this kind of thing. All right, test and back to stop. I don't need to fire anything here, so I'm just going to select nothing. There you go. And back to the nadir display. Right, just another example in case you're not flying the Gazelle. If you're flying, for example, the K50, here's what this can look like. I'm using Captain Zeen's profile here. Actually, I'm using Captain Zeen's profiles for every chopper I'm flying through Helios. Again, like a really nice thing for, I mean, if you're using Helios and using a monitor to display this kind of stuff, I mean, it's really nice to have a touchscreen one, and you can basically interact with pretty much everything inside the cockpit without having to actually look inside. Okay, the next thing will be VR, of course. On the DCS flight panel side, I'm just showing you what I have. So the usual things here for the radio stack and the switches, but maybe spend a little bit more time on the Streamdecks integration. So this is a kind of an early implementation for the K50 profile, although I mean it's pretty much final. As you can see, the standard, I use the standard Stream Deck for the PVI 800. So say I don't know, I want to display my waypoint 1, and you can see I've got it here. Okay, I could have used the touchscreen also. I kind of like the feedback that you get from the Stream Deck. The other thing is, for example, on the Mini, what I use the Mini for the autopilot. So, you know, I can set the autopilot here, and you have it here also. I think you got a bunch of things here also. On the XL, what I did is the data link. I can use the some of the buttons here for the data link. As you see, I didn't have enough buttons for the PVI, so I basically used the standard for the keypad, and all the other functions have been moved down to the XL. Okay, but it's working the same. If I want to display the wind, I got the wind here. I mean, this is all going through DCS BIOS. All right, so that's about it. Nothing much more to see here. Forgot to mention also the real sim gear, GNS 430, that you can actually use in DCS. It's kind of easy to do, and not only you can have all the switches working, but also export the display on the GNS 430 display. Didn't show you exactly the way it works here for the frequency, but I mean, this is all managed by DCS flight panel. Pretty nice. Like if using radio communications, for example, using simple radio, you can actually set up all the frequencies you need directly here using the switches here, and that's it. The only thing left here is have the cyclic and the collective, and let's go. Have a good day, guys. See you.